welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to address additional stimulus and how we could see more help coming very soon. I also want to touch on the next stimulus package update or infrastructure bill. We're going to dive into some universal basic income talks, and I'm going to talk about utility assistance. There's a lot of stuff happening right now, but the main thing that we're seeing is there's new ideas coming out. Whether these ideas are on stimulus checks or actual pure infrastructure or utility assistance, rental assistance, unemployment, or whatever, the talks are consistent. It's about giving back to more people. So that is good news, at least for now. So let's address what is actually happening. And again, I will address the stimulus checks kind of as we go through because they're intertwined in multiple ways, and I'll explain that as we go through this. But here's what we know. More cities are putting up their money for utility assistance. We know that there has been some utility assistance in the past, but a lot of it has run out. What I can tell you is that cities are starting to put up their own funding from the money that they received from the $1.9 trillion the stimulus package. That one, the American Rescue Plan that was passed months ago, we're starting to see cities put up their money from that, which is great news. We know Representative Rashida Tlaib, she's proposing a $40 billion proposal to go towards utility assistance. But what I can tell you is that is still a little ways out. We don't know if that's going to be included into that $3.5 trillion stimulus package. But what we do know is there are more lawmakers that are calling for additional stimulus because they are saying that if we were to provide utility assistance, that would free up other income that those families could then use for food, rent, and other necessities, aka additional stimulus. So that's great news there. So, and I told you guys this before, and I'll continue to say it, what we are seeing is lawmakers are looking at different ways to provide stimulus. Not just, hey, here's a $1,400 stimulus check, use it wisely. That's not what they're saying. They're saying, all right, if we can't give a $1,400 stimulus check or a $2,000 monthly recurring check, we're going to figure out a way to do it, but we're going to try to trick the rest of Congress into thinking, yeah, that's just additional infrastructure. But again, I want to touch on something really quick. There's a lot of talks on 2 additional stimulus checks. I mentioned this before. This was an article from Business Insider. They were saying that there could be potentially $800 billion in additional revenue, but that $800 billion could pay for 2 more $1,400 stimulus checks. Again, there's talks on additional stimulus checks, not 2 more. There's talks of 1 more, okay? Just keep that in mind. So all these people saying we're gonna see 2 more $1,400 stimulus checks, that's false. That is false. Right now, all we're seeing is 1 more. But again, it's not even the majority of Congress that are proposing that and talking about it. It's just about half of them. So just want to put that out there. Now, what we are seeing though, okay, is multiple senators are actually complaining about the stimulus that is already going out because they say this is looking too much like universal basic income. And we know what they're talking about. They're talking about the child tax credit payments. Of course they're talking about child tax credit payments. Well, Senator Marco Rubio says Biden's child tax credit payments, this is just wealth redistribution. That's all it is. He says this is universal basic income because it doesn't require the recipient to work in order to receive these benefits. And he's absolutely right. Universal basic income will go to you no matter what, whether you work or not, it will go to you. Well, here's where things get very interesting. Democrats argue that this can't be universal basic income if it only lasts 1 year. Technically, it can. However, multiple Democrats have confirmed that the child tax credit payments will be extended in this next infrastructure bill, and their goal is to get it extended for 4 more years. So technically, they're saying this isn't universal basic income now, but it could be because we're planning on extending it. But the key here is the verbiage within the bill. And I've said this before, it comes down to the details. The devil is in the details. Nancy Pelosi said this before, okay? Former President Donald Trump, even Senate minority leader now, Mitch McConnell, has said it's in the details. The verbiage, the language, that is key. Here's what we know. A few moderates are saying that people should work in order to receive this child tax credit benefit. If they don't work, they should not receive the funds. However, that's not the point of this proposal. The point of this proposal is to lift children out of poverty. Doesn't really affect the parents in a sense, even though the parents are, parenting the children kind of follow suit with the parents. If the parents are poor, the child is probably going to be poor as well. So it is what it is. But right now, we do not have any reports as to really the specifics on this and whether we are going to see this kind of included into the next bill, whether or not you have to work and receive an income in order to receive the child tax credit payments. So again, that's up in the air as of right now as well. But again, as I said multiple times over the past couple of weeks, we are going to see more details very soon. And again, I think we're going to get a lot more details the rest of this week. And I know for a fact we're going to be getting a lot more details over the next 2 weeks as well. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens. One thing I can tell you though, is right now, stimulus checks are considered one of those things that many people want. However, they are worried about what's going to happen or what they have to do in order to receive those. There's been talks that you can only receive the next stimulus check if, however, again, it's only just been recently that the FDA finally approved for one company. So it hasn't been fully approved for very long. And in addition to that, there's no stimulus check in the next bill. So how are lawmakers discussing giving you a stimulus check as long as when there's no stimulus check to really give you? That's kind of where things are at. There's more questions than answers at this time, which is one of the reasons why I try to always bring you the latest news and updates, because there's so much to go through. But here's something else I think is very interesting. The government is expected to run out of money as early as October because of the debt ceiling. We've already reached it. We're at over $29 trillion. If the debt ceiling is not raised, and it's not raised soon, then the Federal Reserve can't print more money and we will shut down. We have a lot of debt. We're a very wealthy company, or very wealthy country, but we have a lot of debt. Just yesterday, more than 100 House representatives signed a letter saying they will not raise the debt ceiling no matter what, and almost all Senate Republicans said the exact same thing, that they will not raise it either. I think there's about 46 or 47 that said this as well. And just so you know, Democrats, they can include the debt ceiling increase in the budget reconciliation bill. This is possible. They can do it, according to experts. However, here's the problem. Moderates are not open to this idea, simply because moderates are saying it puts all the responsibility on Democrats in the event something bad were to happen. Yes, that's exactly why Republicans are saying we will not authorize this, but you can go ahead and do it, because Republicans are using this as a way to hopefully, according to them, not great for the American people or the country, but they're saying hopefully it actually goes the wrong way. It actually causes more pain and more suffering for the American people, and this would help Republicans get back into office, which it could. This could help Republicans win back the House and the Senate this coming midterm, and depending on what happens over the next 2 to 3 years, this could actually help Republicans win back the White House as well. But again, that's something else we got to wait and see. Something else I was reading today, which I want to fill you in on. Right now, and this has to do with Social Security. They're saying that the Social Security Trust Fund will be unable to pay the full benefits starting 2034. This is actually 1 year earlier than expected. Some were saying this could jump up all the way to 2030. Good thing it didn't. However, as far as the full benefits, nobody knows exactly what this is going to be. Some are saying that this is going to be about 74% of what you're actually getting now. So let's just say, again, I'm not great with math, so I'm just going to use $1,000. Let's say you get $1,000. Then you'd only get $740 per month. So it's a big decrease, but that is where we're at, and obviously the trust fund and how it's been run. We also are hearing that Medicare's hospital insurance fund will actually be depleted by 2026. That's not great news either. And again, there are very few talks regarding any additional benefits for people on Social Security at this time. Most of the talks are regarding infrastructure, stimulus, obviously Afghanistan lately. Not really Social Security. But again, as I know more there, I promise I will fill you in on all those updates. Let's talk about what President Biden has said today. President Biden has said that more than 5,000 National Guard members have been activated to help with the search and rescue mission in Louisiana and Mississippi. He says that people should just stay put because help is on the way. He also says that they are doing all they can to minimize the amount of time that it takes to get power back up for everybody in that region. And some are saying that they are expecting power to be out for about 72 hours. However, we do not know. Okay? This also has many experts saying that we need to provide a little more security and safety for the residents in that area, simply because this Hurricane Ida, it came very quickly. It really came fast, and people were not expecting it to really come that quickly. So there needs to be more of a warning system in place. But again, it's just talks. We don't know for sure what they're going to do because we've seen this before. Also, the U.S. is now averaging 155,000 new cases per day, and the CDC states that the hospitalization rate for the individuals is about 16 times the amount. That's not great news. The reports this morning are also indicating that in-person education is the leading cause for children to test positive, and hospitalizations are up indefinitely because of that. Remember, there's no for children that are under the age of 12. So as of right now, it is pretty much, hopefully you wear a mask. Hopefully you do not get, you test positive, and you will be safe. But that's really all we know. So again, it's not great news regarding the situation. It's better news regarding stimulus and the infrastructure bill. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on here and share more. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See you guys on the next one. See you.